Okay, here we are. This is the April 2021 Cellar Series preview. So we're looking at 6 new wines here, some producers that we've been friendly with and friends with and supporters of for a long time, and some new guys that we're really excited about showing you. So let's kind of jump in right here with the idea that we're kind of looking at finally 3 and 3. We're back in balance right now with 3 whites and 3 reds, and really kind of focusing on freshness with the whites. At least the first 2 whites, kind of the crisp and clean, the mineral driven aspect of white wine, and then finally a little bit of a transitionary kind of full bodied richer style white. And then kind of some old world charm with these trio of reds. So as per usual, we're 20% off all the wines. We're at about $145, right around that price point, and just kind of a great deal for some classic options here. So let's jump into the whites. We're looking at Arabella Hall and Blair Trathen. And their family operation, Trathen Hall. They've only been making wines since 2009 under this label, but this young couple just has years and years of experience. They've worked all over the globe. This really amazing couple. But inside of Oregon, they've worked at Archery Summit, Beaufrere, Rex Hill, Scott Paul, some really fantastic experience there. So Sauvignon Blanc from the Willamette Valley. You don't see it very often. It's a bit of a rarity. It certainly plays third fiddle behind Pinot Gris and Chardonnay, but I really think it should be celebrated. Patty Green was the great champion. The late great Patty Green was a great champion of Willamette Sauvignon Blanc, I think for a very good reason. It brings kind of a broad quality to it, plenty of kind of richness to the fruit, but there is maybe not so much as like California, but it's not as angular as wines from New Zealand and from the Loire as well. So I think it really is a new world Sauvignon Blanc with a bit of kind of a framework of, I would say, more Sancerre than New Zealand. So really fantastic people here making this, and super small production. Their whole winery, whether it's their Pinot Noir, their Chardonnay, or their Sauvignon Blanc, is less than 1,000 cases. So neutral barrel and just lovely Sauvignon Blanc. Moving on to our friend Carl Lagler. Carl is a relatively young winemaker here, and he farms pretty steep hillsides along the Wachau, or along the Danube River in this region known as the Wachau. So upstream from Vienna, and really kind of the pride of Austria in a lot of ways. So, Carl, gets a lot out of his Gruner Veltliner. Single vineyard wine here, all stainless steel ferments, but just really lovely crisp mineral white from Austria. I always feel like I'm not drinking enough Gruner, and I kind of want to pass that sentiment along here and kind of put one in your glass for you. So great wine from the Danube. Moving on to kind of one of the wild men of Oregon. This is Barnaby Tuttle and Teutonic Wine. Barnaby makes all sorts of wines. He's, I wouldn't say a little unhinged, but whenever you meet him, there's just like this amazing enthusiasm for the wines that kind of come out of his cellar. So a former sommelier, kind of classic story, former sommelier, kind of a wine geek, and really kind of got the wine bug, winemaking bug, since he was so close to the vineyards while working in Portland. So this is botrytis affected Riesling that, they only made 3 barrels of this, super small, but very ripe, kind of late harvest Riesling that has this kind of, kind of peachy, very ripe, peachy quality to it, with this like awesome little lightning bolt of kind of lime zest that really cleans up that hint of sweetness that we kind of get out of it. But this really is kind of spring in a bottle here. I'm a champion of Riesling in a lot of ways, and I really am trying to get people to drink more Riesling along with other things like Gruner and Cabernet Franc, but awesome stuff from our friend Barnaby at Teutonic in Oregon. So our first red, we are moving to the Loire, and this is Domaine de Mordier, and this is 2 young brothers here. This is kind of a young kind of winemaking set right out of the gate, the first 4 wines here. These 2 brothers right here, though, have been farming for not that long. They're only working 9 hectare, but they're all working old vines. So the domaine has been really in existence for about 10 years now. They're all biodynamically farmed. They're Cabernet Franc and Chenin vines. But the reason that I kind of fell in love with this wine was I have kind of this memory of tasting this wine about a month ago and just grabbing everybody I could to try this wine around me to see like what they thought of it. So really good Cabernet Franc from the Loire has this this really fantastic freshness and verve and kind of chiseled quality to it that is unmistakable in the wine world. And I don't think we drink enough Cabernet Franc as well, especially from really, really great producers along the Loire River, south and west of Paris. So from the village of Bourgogne. So great little wine there. So moving to the extreme southern part of France, this is Domaine de Mont Blanc, and Domaine de Mont Blanc is making a wine in the village of Cellar, and this wine in particular is called the Terre de Schiste, and the Terre de Schiste is a wine that that I would say is probably kind of like the old world kind of rustic selection that we've got out of all of these. Grenache, Syrah, Mourvèdre, all grown on kind of pretty steep, kind of like limestone and schist hillsides, pretty close to the sea, but also very, very close to the Spanish border. Cellar is the last appellation before you hit the Pyrenees and before you hit the Spanish border. So a very small selection here, 15 hectares that Jean-Michel Parcet farms. Pretty vivid, pretty aromatic, and kind of rustic charm wine right here. So finishing up with Protos, Bodegas Protos is a founding kind of address in the Ribera del Duero. And Ribera del Duero, at times it seems like plays second fiddle to the wines from Rioja. And what I mean by that is we just don't see as many wines from Ribera, which is unfortunate because this very dry, very kind of wind-blown, kind of region, the highest plateau of the Iberian Peninsula, really makes wines that are kind of wines of just grapes that are survivors, vines that are survivors, so you can really feel kind of the depth of this vine, of this wine. The oldest vines of this kind of winery go into this, so we're looking at wines that are over 50, 60 years old, 16 months in new French oak. So that's kind of the balancing point right there. I kind of mentioned in the intro that this wine does kind of have a touch of a modern edge. It's not this, current release that's 10 years old like you might see out of Rioja. It does have nice kind of composed but ample fruit, which is a nice way to kind of finish up here. So that is our lineup. We're kind of springing ahead right now and really kind of watching the seasons change kind of before our eyes. And hopefully these wines will be a backdrop to some dinners outdoors, maybe some upcoming barbecues. But I hope you enjoy the wines. Thanks as always. This is our year anniversary. We've been doing this for a year now, and I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart with, for all of your interest in kind of playing along. So this should be available by tomorrow, by Friday afternoon. Direct message us, call us, email us. And thanks for your interest.